Hi, hello everyone. This is Fershi, and in today's videos, I'm gonna share with you about my experience from getting from band 6 or 6.5 to band 7 and 7.5 in IELTS speaking test. So this video is very suitable for people who are well understand about the language, the English language. Your score in listening and reading is already very high, like band 8 and 9, and it's like me, you understand everything in English, but you couldn't articulate your thoughts out loud. So first I would briefly explain my journey to get into this band 7.5, and after that I will share with you the real test response that I did in a few weeks ago, and then a few key takeaways at the end of the video. So let's start with the first point. So I was stuck in this band 6 and 6.5 for pretty long time, from April to December to November, and in the November exam, as you can see that my overall score already get to band 8, but I still stuck at band 6.5 for speaking. So right after that I have to change my strategy, which was I focus on speaking, the frequency of speaking, and every day speak to with a face-to-face interaction with actual people at least 1 hour per day, and it's paid off. I got a 7.5 after that. So yeah, so for practice for speaking, I think there's no way that can improve you if you don't really speak out loud. So that's the first key takeaway. So let's move on to the actual response that I did in the exam. There's something I have to confess. The real questions and the answer for the time that I got 7.5, I could not remember, because right after that I took another test just 1 week after that result come out, because I did a silly mistake in other skill, which is writing skill. I got 6.5 because of time management. I forgot, I couldn't then manage to finish my conclusion in time, so that's why the result was that terrible. But I know how to get a 7 in writing, so I rebooked the test right after that, and I got my desired score. But this time my speaking gone down a bit by half a band, so only achieved a band 7, but it's okay. And I think that I can explain afterward why the band got reduced by half a score. So let's move on to the real questions that I received, which is the most recent ones. So I can only remember the recent test question and the response, but the previous one I couldn't remember what the questions were about. So I think for part 1 we not cover it today in the video, because it's very simple type of questions. Usually we have 3 topics in the part 1, and for the part 2 I remember that the question is about describe an unusual vacation. So my response to this question is actually came from a true story. So here how I answer the question. I've considered myself to be quite fortunate because I've been to many places, but one trip that I would never forget was a trip to the US. It was actually this time of the year, in the last year. It was a period of the Tet holiday, which is the Lunar New Year's in Vietnam, and actually in the Southeast Asia we celebrate this kind of New Year. So like Christmas or New Year's in the Western world, it's a time for family bonding. And at that time, my brother was working in the US and he couldn't manage to quit the job and return home to celebrate with the family. So our family decided to book a flight to visit him in the US and to celebrate together. So I was in charge in booked the flights. I'm in charge in booking the flights, and because it's quite rushed, it's like almost last hour, last minute booking, and I just decided to choose the cheapest option. So you probably guess what might happen next when you choose the cheapest one. And to be honest, we have to chances in Tokyo, if I remember correctly, and the chances time was really long. Yes, so that's what you got for the that kind of price. But that's not the thing that would make this trip so memorable. The thing that we would never forget is after 8 hours of waiting in the airport, the airline announced that the flight was cancelled and there was no other immediate substitute flight in the next few days. So of course, you can imagine that we all very frustrated, and as a man of the family, I still have to remain calm. And little did I know, I think I gone about almost exceeding the time limits. So at this point, the examiner stopped me, but he also asking a following up question that allowed me to finish this story. So he asked the following up questions about would you make this kind of vacation, the trip in the future? So yes, so this is my time to finish my story. So I said, yes, probably. You know what? Because the airline canceled the flight and they have to give us compensations, and the compensations was big enough for us to enjoy bonus trip to Tokyo and also to Hawaii. So they are the bonus destination to our initial itinerary. So yes, I would probably rebook this kind of trip if I have time in the future. So yeah, so that's the answer for part 2, and you can probably guess what's coming up for part 3. I think there are about 3 or 4 questions. So the first question is quite simple, like the effect of tourism to the country, to my country. I couldn't remember. I think I can't remember really correct the answer for that question right now, but I did mention about the economical effect that benefit our country, the labor market, the job opportunities for local people, so those kind of things. And I think he also asking following up question about is it like is this type of tourism is important for our countries? And I said something about that they do contribute to a large budget to the government fundings and things like that. Yeah, so those kind of things that I answer for this question. So the next question he asked was about what is it about? I think it's about tourism. I couldn't remember that the next question, but the last question, I think the hardest question, is about about the histories of the studying the history of our own country. Is like how it is benefit for the people to study in their own country history, to make a further vacation, something like that. So if you understand about your own culture, your own history, and when you make a vacation, make a trip overseas, and how it benefits that individual. So for that question, is actually was quite challenging, but also a good size, as I remember when I read somewhere some advice on the social media platform, that they said that when you receive a difficult and challenging question, then it's a sign that you might get a higher score. So for me, it's quite lucky because I do watch a series from the Mark Win. You might know he a famous YouTuber that do videos for traveling and food tasting. So he try a lot of food in many different countries. So his materials is the foundations for me to answer this kind of question. So this is how I answer this question. Well, this is a challenging question, to be honest. I reckon that when you understand about your country history, for instance, in the cuisine areas, as you might probably know that Vietnam is well famous for their war story, American and Vietnam war stories, but little that they know that we also been under colonization of French and Chinese. So the dishes, the way that we cook also influenced by them quite a lot. For example, the dish, the famous dish named pho, which is the rice noodle soup, well popularized in many countries over the world. So this soup, I believe that the noodle, the way that we make noodles, is influenced by the Chinese. The way that they make noodle, and we came up with the idea of making our own rice noodles. And for the broth, the soup, I believe that there was a famous dish in France that they stew the beef bones for a very long time to create a unique and exceptional soup. So that's how we mix that kind of thing, the broth and the noodles, and our own ways of ingredient that came up with the famous pho bowls. And from this experience, I think that when anyone from Vietnam, they go to explore a different country like France, for instance, they would love to explore the way to make this type of beef stew in France. I forgot the name, but this is something that the typical tour organization, they never let us know about. So from our own personal interest, we can find a way to explore more and make our vacation more interesting. And this is just one aspect of this story. I do believe that if we dig deeper into our country history, we would find more things, more common things between countries that are so far away from each other, and those findings could be exhilarating. So that's how I answer the question. Maybe in the real test is a bit faster, is less connectors, maybe a bit more fluent. Yeah, but probably most of the time is shorter. I think I try to recall it, so it might not come out that naturally. Okay, so maybe let me explain why the band go down from 7.5 to 7. First of all, my feeling of both exams was quite different. From the time I got the band 7.5, I was really solid, really confident in the exam. So there's like very few hesitation in the response, and I use phrasal verbs quite effectively. No idioms in both tests, but phrasal verbs, yeah, effectively used. And maybe the confidence level in the recent one that put me down half a band, and also because maybe of some of the anxiety, the natural nervous in the recent test that got me down. Okay, so yeah, probably that was what made the difference between the two bands, but maybe it would be better if I share with you the key takeaway of how to get from 6.5 to 7 or 7.5 in almost 1 month. So first of all, a little bit of background. I've been watching and listening to English materials for quite a long time. So for me, I never take time to really like study words by word. New words come to me quite naturally from the context that I've been watching, and also because of this practice for many years, I improved quite a lot in reading and listening. But because it's just the input way, very few time, like I have very few opportunities to do the output, which is actually talk to English speakers. So maybe that's the reason that why I stuck in this band 6.5 for quite some time. But yeah, so in this 1 month, I changed the strategy to speak a lot, everyday shadowing technique, as you might probably know. Listen to native speakers and repeat what they say, and also allow at least 1 hour per day to talk to real people. Doesn't matter if it's native, you just need a friend who speaks English. He or she also doesn't need to be so high in level of speaking. If you meet someone who speaks at a lower level than you can gain confidence. And if you meet someone who is higher level than you, then you can learn from them the way that they answer the question. So both ways are very useful. So I think the first key takeaway is to speak with them. Speak in face-to-face. You need real interaction with human being. And the second takeaway is practice. There's no way to improve your speaking without practice. Every day, day in, day out, yeah, speak as much as possible. Yeah, I think that's the two main key takeaways for this video. Alright, so good luck for your exam, and thank you. Bye bye.